Toyota teases their version of the next-gen car. NASCAR is now requiring teams and drivers to get the COVID-19 vaccine, and Kaulig Racing reveals that their next Cup Series race is going to be at Circuit of the Americas. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. We got quite a few NASCAR stories to discuss here today on the channel. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. Let's start off with all the paint scheme announcements. The first paint scheme and sponsor news we're going to talk about is Ryan Vargas' 2021 throwback paint scheme that is being a tribute to Mark Martin. As he's driving a 6-car for JD Motorsports, this is a fitting throwback to Mark Martin. This paint scheme looks awesome. It's really cool. It looks awesome. I can't wait to see it on the racetrack, man. There's been so many throwbacks this year so far that have been revealed that I've really enjoyed so far this year, and this one is no exception. It looks awesome, and I cannot wait to see it on the racetrack at Darlington here in a couple weeks. The next paint scheme and sponsor news we're going to take a look at is Brandon Jones's 2021 Yee apparel scheme that we're going to see at Circuit Americas in a couple of weeks. Very interesting Yee apparel is going to be on this car. This paint scheme is definitely interesting. Not going to say if I like it or not. It's definitely interesting, but it is awesome that Yee apparel is coming in the NASCAR and they are sponsoring a race car driver like Brandon Jones. It's different than what he's been doing this year, where he's had different versions of Menards and different other companies from hardware stores that have been sponsoring him. I think that this is awesome and really cool to see that Yee apparel is stepping up to the plate and sponsoring Brandon Jones in a couple weeks at Circuit of the Americas. And a final paint scheme sponsor that actually was just revealed a few minutes ago is Derek Krause's 2021 Kafka Granite scheme that we are going to see this weekend in the Truck Series at Kansas. This paint scheme looks awesome. The colors work really well in the car, and I think it's going to be a great addition for Derek Krause. Derek Krause has definitely had a couple sponsors this year, partnered with them, sponsors like Napa, and this one is once again going to be sponsoring him this weekend. Really awesome to see that Kafka Granite is going to be sponsoring him this weekend here at Kansas in the Truck Series on Saturday night. And as I'm currently editing today's video, a new paint scheme has officially just been revealed for this afternoon. It's another throwback paint scheme. Jeff Burton is going to be running a Nutrien AG Solutions throwback paint scheme to, you guessed it, his father, Ward Burton, who kind of had a sim with his old NBA colors that he ran in 1995. He's basically throwing it back to those colors. This throwback looks awesome. I love the color scheme a lot, and it's a really good tribute to his father. It's really cool. Hopefully Ward definitely likes it as well, as he is his father, of course. It's a nice throwback for sure, and I cannot wait to see it out on the racetrack here this weekend, a couple weekends here at Darlington International Raceway. Another throwback paint scheme actually just got revealed as well as Justin Haley's 2021 throwbacks leaf filter scheme that we're going to see at Darlington has officially been revealed. It's a throwback to the first time leaf filter actually sponsored a car. They sponsored Blake Cook back in 2014. He was with, I believe it was either Go Green or Go Fast Racing in the Cup Series. They're going to be sponsoring him a throwback. Again, the colors look very similar. It's really cool. Can't wait to see it out on the racetrack at Darlington in the Xfinity Series for Justin Haley. And now we're going to go ahead and jump onto all the other major stories in today's episode. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. Let's start off with Michael McDowell, as Michael McDowell has a national ad that is basically based around here from CarParts.com. They also are going to be sponsoring him this weekend at Kansas as well. This national ad that they're running, this advertisement, is a very awesome advertisement. I really enjoyed all the bloopers from it as well. I think it's really cool that CarParts.com is going to be sponsoring him this weekend. It's really, again, they're stepping up this weekend and sponsoring him in Kansas. This is really cool ad, and I cannot wait to see it out on the racetrack. And definitely really awesome ad as well, by the way. Now we're going to jump on to the next story of today's episode, as we're going to be talking about the Boys and Girls Club of America. NASCAR announced yesterday, before the race began, that they had signed a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of America. Here is what Bob Parker said. NASCAR has announced a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of America. The partnership will focus on the three areas: STEM education, STEM education, career development and diversity, equality, and inclusion initiatives. That is what they are going to be doing with the Boys and Girls Club of America. This is, for those of you who know who the Boys and Girls Club of America is, this is a very popular organization, an organization that does a lot of great things, in my honest opinion, for a lot of people, definitely in bad communities, in bad areas. I love that NASCAR is basically going out and branching out and basically working with a lot of different brands. And over the last couple of years, they've done a lot of things. They've been trying to be more diverse and more inclusive in the sport. This is really cool that they're partnering up with the Boys and Girls Club of America, and I'm definitely really excited for the future going forward. This is definitely some very, very exciting news for sure. And now we're going to jump onto the next story of today's episode, as we're going to talk about the Daytona 500 for 2022. On Saturday before the Xfinity Series race and the ARCA race took the green flag, Daytona International Speedway on Twitter revealed their logo that they are going to have, and also revealed the date for this next year's upcoming Daytona 500. So the logo is more patriotic. This logo looks really, really, really awesome, by the way. It's bold, it's patriotic, and it gives you those American flags, and it gives those USA colored banners as well. That is really, really awesome to see. But they also revealed that the Daytona 500, as I've talked about on this channel, is going to be on February 20th of 2022. It's expected to be the season opener once again in the 2020 season. It's also expected that the Speed Week schedule is going to be the same as last year. It's just kind of like a Speed Week, as the Super Bowl is expected to be pushed back to the February 13th week. So expect the same schedule we had this year for Speed Week, basically once again going into 2022. But yeah, really exciting news for Daytona 500 as well, and I'm definitely intrigued to see what's going to happen with the Daytona 500 as well. And hopefully the Daytona 500 next year is a lot better than previous years, because let's be for real, the 500 in 2021 was absolutely arguably one of the worst Daytona 500s I've seen in my time as a fan of the sport. And now we're going to jump onto the next story of today's episode, as we're going to go ahead and talk about Hailie Deegan. According to Adam Stern, Hailie Deegan is increasingly finding brands who want to pay her for social media posts, but have no interest in being on her car or fire suit. MB Index says that she is in the number 7 female athletes in the world for social value guaranteed for partners. It does not surprise you one bit that people and sponsors are trying to work with her, especially on her social medias. If you look at her social medias, especially like on Instagram and even YouTube, the YouTube page that she runs, the Deegan Family page, has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and she has over 1 million followers on Instagram and 120,000 followers on Twitter, and over 2 million followers on TikTok. So it does not surprise me that Hailie Deegan is going out there and picking up sponsorships and brands that are basically wanting to work with her. It doesn't really surprise me one bit that they're wanting to work with Hailie Deegan. Yes, Hailie Deegan is definitely controversial for sure, but brands do like controversy, and it's so surprising me that they're wanting to work with her. It's really, really cool for sure that sponsors are definitely going to want to work with her going forward for the future. I'm wondering what brands and sponsors are definitely wanting to work with her, because if it's like big brands like DoorDash and other companies that are wanting to work with her, that's something that's going to be really cool, and it's money that's going to be going her. Like, and it sucks that they're not wanting to work with her on the race side of things, but the fact that they're wanting to work with her on the social media, especially since he has a big influence on a lot of female racers and a lot of females in the industry as well, is really, really cool for sure. And great to see the sponsors are willing and wanting to work with Hailie Deegan going forward. And now we're going to jump on to the next story of today's episode, as according to Bob Pockers, Austin Cindric is currently listed on the roster pages, and it looks like he is going to be racing once again at Kansas Speedway, once again, presumably in the number 33 car, and have the same crew chiefs he's had the last couple races. It's very intriguing that they're going to run him on another 1.5 mile track, because so far Austin Cindric has ran at Daytona. He also ran at Atlanta on 1.5 mile, and then ran at Richmond, so I was very intrigued to see if they were going to run him at a road course next, or if they're going to run him at a different type of track, maybe like a different track or like another short track. But it was running at another 1.5 mile again. Again, the Cup Series does have a lot of 1.5 miles, so it doesn't surprise me. And it will give an advantage the next time we come to Kansas in the Xfinity Series. But I will be honest with you, I'm a little bit surprised that he's going to be running on 1.5 miles. I thought they'd probably run him a road course, because in my opinion, they've got to at some point run him on a road course for the Cup Series. I know that he's super good at road courses, and we know that he's probably going to be on top dogs at road courses. But there's so many good drivers that are really awesome at road course that I think he needs to go out there and run at some point on a road course track to get experience, because we already know that he's going to be running next year in the Cup Series, and he'll be a favorite at those kind of tracks and all the other kind of tracks as well. It's good for him, though, that he's getting a lot of experience, and I think that he's going to become a much better driver the more he runs here later this year. And now we're going to go ahead and jump on to the next story of today's episode, as we're going to talk about Donny Schatz. According to a report that came out recently, Donny Schatz was in Bristol for the World of Outlaws race at Bristol. He's looking for his 300th career win. I don't think he won the Bristol race this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But he was looking for his 300th career win. And he mentioned that he might be racing the Knoxville truck race here later in July. Now, he says that he's been in the David Gillen Racing Shop in the number 17 team. That's the team, apparently, that's been rumored that he would be going to, because he's, like I said, he's been in David Gillen Racing Shop, and he said he's been very intrigued in running the Knoxville truck race, as the truck series is going to be going to Knoxville. So far, we've had a couple dirt ringers that have been confirmed. Brian Brown is going to be racing for Kyle Busch Motorsports, and Jessica Friesen will be attempting to qualify for the first time. Remember, she tried to qualify for Bristol Dirt, but because it got rained out, didn't have enough honors points. She will be attempting to qualify for Knoxville and race alongside her husband, Stuart Friesen, in that upcoming race, as she has a lot of dirt racing experience as well. But Donny Schatz, for those who don't know, he is one of the greatest dirt racers ever. In fact, one of the greatest World of Outlaws racers of all time. And the reason it doesn't really surprise me that he's going to go to DGR Racing, think about the team he drives for in the World of Outlaws. He drives for Tony Stewart Racing. And what does Tony Stewart have association with? David Gillen Racing. Haley Deegan is currently, I think, a development driver for Stuart Haas Racing right now, and multiple of the SHR drivers, people that manage with Kevin Harvick Incorporated, have driven or are going to in the future be driving for David Gillen Racing here down the line. And to me, it absolutely makes a lot of sense he's going to go there. Do I think that he has a good shot of winning this race? It really is going to depend on how much practice he gets. Because like I said, Donny Schatz, I think, is a very, very talented driver and one of the greatest World of Outlaws drivers in the history of the sport, if not the greatest driver in World of Outlaws history. But Donny Schatz definitely has some competition, especially since it seems like these guys, at least in, when they run the truck series, at least they have a lot of competition for sure. But yeah, this is definitely really, really exciting news for sure that Donny Schatz is thinking about coming over. I really hope he does come over and run the trucks, because I hope we see a lot more dirt ringers confirmed, because I think that more dirt ringers we get, the better going forward. But this is definitely really exciting news, and hoping he does very, very well here at Knoxville. And now we're going to jump onto the next story of today's episode, as we're going to talk about Chase Briscoe. As it was confirmed this morning that Chase Briscoe is going to be racing the Truck Series race at Kansas once again for Roper Racing in the 04 truck with CarQuest. I can't remember the other sponsor he's having, but he'll be sponsored by CarQuest and another company here at Kansas. Now, this is not the first time that Chase Briscoe has raced a Roper Racing this year, as he actually got a top 5 for them in the Bristol Dirt Race, and he's coming back and racing once again. I think this is a very important race for Chase Briscoe, for him to get experience, because Chase Briscoe has not been very great in the Cup Series this year. He's currently sitting, I think, 28th in the points. He got his best finish of the year this past weekend with an 11th place finish at Talladega Superspeedway. But he's not been very good, and I think the lack of seat time has definitely hurt him. So I have no problem with Chase Briscoe racing, especially since he's working in the Cup Series. And this is going to help him for sure going forward, because like I said, he does have some wins here at Kansas in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And I think that he has a really good shot of running up front. What are my expectations for Chase Briscoe? Yes, this is an unfunded car, but for a guy that's won a couple races in trucks, I think that Chase Briscoe honestly has a very good shot of at least finishing in the top 15 or maybe in the top 10. Yes, like I said, Chase Briscoe, whatever, the competition is definitely very, very stiff in the truck series, but I think Chase Briscoe, with how much experience he has from the truck series, I think that he's going to run very, very well and definitely be a contender. But yeah, I'm very excited to see that Chase Briscoe is going to be running in the Truck Series Kansas, and I think the Truck Series competition just got a lot stiffer. There's a lot of competition here in trucks, and I think that he just upped the competition level for the drivers that are racing in the Truck Series later this year. And now we're going to go ahead and jump onto the next story of today's episode, as we're going to talk about vaccines regarding NASCAR. Yesterday, we talked about earlier we talked about how NASCAR had partnered up with the Boys Girl Club America, and actually one question I brought up that was talked about was vaccines during a press release. According to Steve Phelps, what he said was that NASCAR is going to be asking drivers to advocate for vaccinations, but they're not going to be implementing a policy similar to the Indianapolis 500. Now, for those of you who are not in the IndyCar scene, IndyCar is basically requiring all their drivers to get the COVID-19 vaccine for the Indianapolis 500, or they're going to have daily negative tests to be able to continue. Now, currently, I believe that all drivers, and I think today the last driver is getting vaccinated as we speak right now, but pretty much all the drivers in IndyCar are basically getting vaccinated. And in NASCAR, they're not requiring their drivers to get the vaccine, and there's been definitely a lot of backlash that they're not being required to get the vaccine. But here are my honest thoughts and honest opinions in regards to that. I personally do not think that drivers should be required to get the COVID-19 vaccine to be out on the racetrack. I definitely recommend that drivers get the vaccine, but I don't think that every driver needs to be required to get the vaccine. I think it's a choice if they want to get it or not. Like I said, I think they definitely should be recommended to get vaccine, but I don't think it should be required, as I don't think it's to be fair. I think it's a sports decision and a company's decision, because like I said, I think NASCAR is a private company as well. NASCAR has the right, in my opinion, to decide what they want to do. Same with IndyCar. If IndyCar wants to basically make their guys get the vaccine, I think that they are allowed to do that, in my honest opinion. But I personally don't think that it should be required to get the COVID-19 vaccine for things to get back to normal. But like I said, I think it should be recommended. And I'm definitely advocating for you guys to definitely, if you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine, you definitely should go do that and help it. Because the more people that do get the vaccine, the better it is going to be for everything to get back to normal. Because the more people that get the vaccine, the more quickly things get back to normal. But I personally do not think that it should be required to get the COVID-19 vaccine. I really don't understand the backlash for it. I think the drivers have a choice if they want to. We know a few drivers have gotten the vaccine. I believe Denny Hamlin's gotten the vaccine, Maya Snyder's got it, and also Bubba Wallace have gotten it. And I wouldn't be surprised if drivers haven't shared, because again, I also don't think drivers need to be sharing every time you get a vaccine. I don't think you need to be sharing that you got the vaccine unless you want to, because not everyone wants to see you that you got the vaccine. That's just my honest opinion on that. But like I said, I don't personally think that it should be required to get the vaccine. Like I said, it should be recommended, but I do not think that it should be required to get the COVID-19 vaccine. That is just my honest opinion on that. And now we're going to jump on to the next big story of today's episode, as we're going to go ahead and talk about Kaulig Racing. It was confirmed today on Twitter in a post that the next race that Kaulig Racing is going to run in the Cup Series is going to be at Circuit of the Americas. It is expected that AJ Allmendinger is going to be driving that 16 cars. AJ Allmendinger is expected to run all the road course races here. It's no surprise that Kaulig Racing is expected to run here at Circuit of the Americas, because they have said that basically they're going to try to run all the super speedways and all the road courses. Casgrau basically running all the super speedways, and AJ Allmendinger running all of the road courses. I wish that Kaulig Racing would run more than they are this year. It's a shame that basically they're only running 11, 12 races this year, because I think that Kaulig Racing definitely deserves to be in a seat more than some other organizations like Rick Ware Racing and even Starcom Racing, perfectly honest with you, because they're ahead in the points right now of 2 Rick Ware Racing cars, and yet they're not running the whole entire season, and yet they scored 2 top 10s this year, once at Casgrau and once at AJ Allmendinger. And in my opinion, I think that they're absolutely ready to jump up the Cup full-time. I'm really hoping that they're going to go full-time here really, really soon. I really hope that there's an announcement coming for that, because I feel like they are ready to jump up the Cup. I really think they are. They've had the speed every single race they've been in. They've qualified very, very well. They have RCR backing. They've been so competitive in Xfinity. I think that they really are seriously wanting to, and I think that if they had to choose, I think if they are going to go full-time, I think they're going to choose between Casgrau and Justin Haley, but I really think it's going to go more to Justin Haley. I know a lot of people want Casgrau to get an opportunity to race full-time, because I do agree Casgrau has been really, really good in his 3 starts. I mean, he's got 2 top 10s in 3 starts, and has led laps as well, by the way. I think in both those races that he's been able to get a top 10. But I personally think they're going to choose Justin Haley if they're going to go full-time. I said that in my silly season predictions video the other day on Saturday, that I think that if they are to go full-time, I think they are going to choose Justin Haley, just because Justin Haley has been with Kaulig Racing since 2019. I don't think they're going to change that, but I think that Casgrau definitely should be in the running and consideration to go full-time. I really would like to see Casgrau get a full-time opportunity in the Cup Series, because I think he's absolutely ready, and I think he's done a very good job so far. And yeah, Kaulig Racing is going to be racing at Circuit of the Americas, hoping for the best. I think that ultimately their goal is to try to finish in the top 10 and get as many owner points as possible, just in case if they decide more run. I would like to see Kaulig Racing go run some more races here going forward here later this year. And now we're going to jump on to the final major story of today's episode, as we're going to be talking about Toyota. Now, so far, when it regards to the next-gen car, we have seen Ford basically tease their next-gen car, but we really have not been able to get a glimpse of it. Toyota actually sent basically a Twitter photo out on Saturday showing a glimpse of the next-gen car, and what it looks like is that it is going to be a Toyota Camry. Now, remember, they are not officially revealing the next-gen cars until next Wednesday on May 5th. The official reveal of the next-gen car is going to be coming out on May 5th. But if you take a look at the car, like I mentioned, that is going to be a Toyota Camry. I saw a lot of people saying that they will maybe potentially go into Toyota Supra because they have Supra in the Xfinity Series. They could eventually go to that in the foreseeable future and switch that in the next couple years. But it really doesn't surprise me. Toyota Camry is basically the #1 car for Toyota in their market. I mean, it's the best-selling car. I mean, they're still doing really good with Toyota Camrys. And I feel like if they basically switch over to Supra, I think they're going to struggle from the beginning. I think if they switch over, like I said, I think they're going to have the same issues that Chevy's had, and they're going to struggle. Because, again, remember last year, they kind of had struggle points this last year. Of course, yes, Denny Hamlin was really dominant last year, but they kind of struggled. If you take a look at this car, though, from the teaser photo that we've seen, it definitely looks really, really cool for sure. I'm definitely telling you right now, I'm getting more and more excited about this next-gen car the more details come out. Because the next-gen car, like I mentioned, coming out on May 5th. I think that it's going to be really, really awesome day for sure when that gets around next week. We're going to talk about that next week when that gets revealed. But it's really cool that Toyota is teasing the next-gen car, and I really am looking forward to seeing the next-gen car on May 5th. So, anyway, that is going to be for today's NASCAR news video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications so you be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Links description below for that, and comment your thoughts on today's video. What are your thoughts about Toyota teasing the next-gen car? Do you like what you've seen so far from that or not? Let me know in the comments below. And what are your thoughts about Kaulig Racing at Circuit of the Americas once again? And how well do you think they're going to run at Circuit of the Americas? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like YouTube. Can recommend more of these great videos out to you guys. Do that, I would greatly and truly appreciate it. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I'll see you guys next time for some more great and awesome NASCAR content. Take care, everybody.